The sensors aboard the Vraxian mothership detected the anomaly at 0342 Standard Galactic Time. Commander Luzak's membrane-covered eyes widened as the readings came in. A single vessel approaching from the direction of the primitive solar system. They'd marked for conquest. Impossible, he chittered. These readings suggest propulsion technology at least 3 evolutionary stages beyond anything we've encountered. Senior Technician Mevra adjusted her sensory apparatus. The vessel is broadcasting on all frequencies, Commander. They know we're here. The Vraxian expansion fleet had conquered 17 systems in the past cycle. Their technological superiority had never been questioned. Their military might unmatched across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. Until now. Play the transmission, Luzak ordered, mandibles clicking nervously. The holographic display flickered to life. A bipedal creature appeared, pink-skinned, strange fur atop its head, clothed in what appeared to be a military uniform, with unfamiliar insignia. This is Admiral Vera Kostova of the Earth Defense Force vessel Indomitable. You have entered restricted space. The star system ahead is under human protection. Withdraw immediately or face consequences. Luzak's secondary heart began pulsing rapidly. These humans were supposed to be pre-FTL savages, barely able to reach their own moon. The intelligence reports had classified them as an easy conquest, rich in resources, minimal defensive capabilities. Scan the vessel, he ordered. Mevra's digits moved across the control panel. Commander, this can't be right. Their ship hull contains elements not on our periodic table. Energy signatures suggest power generation methods beyond theoretical. Physics, as we understand it. Intelligence Officer Drozek approached the command podium. Our preliminary scans of their communication networks suggested primitive technology. How could they have advanced so quickly? On the tactical display, the lone Earth vessel maintained position. It was dwarfed by the Vraxian fleet, 1 ship against 30. Yet not a single officer on the command deck felt confident. Perhaps they acquired technology from another species, Luzak suggested. Drozek's upper appendages twitched in disagreement. There's been no contact with any spacefaring species in this sector for millennia. And look at the design architecture. It's unique, not borrowed or reverse-engineered. The human transmission continued. We have detected your weapons systems powering up. This would be unwise. Luzak hadn't ordered weapons activation. How had they known? They're scanning us at quantum levels, Mevra reported, voice trembling. They can see into our ship as if the hull were transparent. Another officer spoke up. Commander, historical archives indicate that primitive species sometimes develop along unusual trajectories when threatened. Some theories suggest that war-evolved species might prioritize military technology above all else. The single human vessel began moving into an attack position that would give it firing solutions on multiple Vraxian ships simultaneously. An impossible tactical maneuver that violated basic laws of spatial positioning. What are they? Luzak whispered. The tactical officer's voice was barely audible. Commander, they're broadcasting detailed schematics of our defense grid, with annotations describing the weaknesses. Luzak stared at the screen. The humans weren't just threatening. They were teaching the Vraxians how easily they could destroy them, and that's when he understood. It was already over before it had begun. Admiral Vera Kostova stood on the command deck of the Indomitable, watching the alien fleet through the massive forward viewport. The ship's quantum AI, Athena, displayed tactical overlays across her field of vision. They're confused, reported Lieutenant Commander Amar Khoury, head of xenopsychology. Their communication patterns suggest they're struggling to reconcile our capabilities with their intelligence on Earth. Vera nodded. As expected. Humanity's greatest advantage had always been secrecy. For generations, Earth's defense strategists had maintained a carefully crafted facade, broadcasting outdated technology, old entertainment, deliberately primitive communications. Meanwhile, beneath the lunar surface and in orbital facilities, shielded from detection, humanity had prepared. The stellar cartography officer, Lieutenant Razan Okoro, approached with a data tablet. Admiral, we've completed deep scans of their fleet. 29 warships, 1 command vessel, approximately 17,000 life forms aboard. Their technology is roughly equivalent to Earth circa 2130. Vera absorbed this information. The Vraxians were advanced by most standards, just not by Earth's current capabilities. And their weapon systems? She asked. Plasma-based. Effective range of 30,000 kilometers. They could cause damage to our outer hull, but nothing critical. Vira turned to communications. Officer Pax Lindholm, any response to our warning? They're deliberating, Admiral. Internal communications suggest their commander is reluctant to engage, but equally reluctant to retreat. Their military hierarchy appears to punish perceived cowardice severely. This complicated matters. Earth's policy was clear. Minimal bloodshed where possible. Humanity had fought its own wars, nearly destroyed itself multiple times before reaching enlightenment. They preferred not to annihilate other species simply for making the same mistakes. Athena, Vera addressed the ship's AI. Tactical options that demonstrate overwhelming force without causing mass casualties? The AI's voice resonated through the command deck. Recommended approach. Neutralize their flagship's propulsion and weapons while simultaneously deploying quantum field disruptors to the remaining fleet. This would render them immobile and defenseless while maintaining life support. Commander Elias Dar, tactical officer, spoke up. Admiral, we're detecting power fluctuations in their weapons grid. They appear to be preparing to fire. Vera sighed. Always the hard way. She opened a channel to all decks. Battle stations, prepare quantum shields, weapon systems on standby, non-lethal protocols. The Indomitable's interior transformed as crew members moved with practiced efficiency. Unlike the frantic scrambling aboard the alien vessels, Earth's defenders operated with calm precision born from generations of preparation. Their targeting. Our engines, reported Commander Dar. Let them fire first, Vera ordered. I want diplomatic records to show clear self-defense. On the main view screen, the alien flagship's forward batteries glowed with building energy. Seconds later, blinding beams of plasma energy streaked toward the Indomitable. The shots never landed. 3 meters from the Earth vessel's hull, the plasma energy dispersed against an invisible barrier, dissipating into harmless particles. Shields holding at 99.97%, Athena reported. No damage detected. Vera allowed herself a small smile. Now then, let's educate our visitors. Target their flagship's propulsion and weapons systems. Surgical precision. The Indomitable responded instantly. Silent beams of focused quantum energy struck the Vraxian command ship at exactly 12 points, simultaneously. No explosion, no dramatic destruction, just the sudden darkness of systems going offline. Their flagship is neutralized, Commander Dar confirmed. Weapons and engines disabled. Life support and gravity systems untouched. Through the viewport, Vera watched the massive alien vessel drift helplessly in space. The remaining Vraxian ships maintained position, clearly uncertain how to proceed. Open a channel, Vera ordered. Let's try diplomacy again. Commander Luzak stared in disbelief at the emergency lighting illuminating the command deck. One moment, the Dominance had been the mightiest warship in the Vraxian fleet. The next, it was dead in space. Weapons systems offline, propulsion disabled, and they hadn't even seen the attack coming. Damage report, he demanded, struggling to maintain composure. Mevra was working frantically at her console, powered by emergency systems. Sir, precision strikes to key systems only. They knew exactly where to hit us. Engine core, weapons control nodes, shield generators, all offline. Environmental systems and artificial gravity remain functional. Casualties? None reported. Commander, their attack caused no explosive decompression, no radiation leakage, no secondary damage. It's as if they performed microsurgery on our ship. The implications were terrifying. The humans hadn't just defeated them, they had demonstrated complete technological superiority while deliberately avoiding casualties. The communications array flickered back to life. "Incoming transmission from the Earth vessel," reported the communications officer. The human admiral appeared once more on screen, expression stern but not triumphant. "No gloating, no barbaric celebration of victory. Commander Luzak, your flagship has been neutralized. Your remaining fleet stands no chance against our defenses. I invite you to reconsider your position." Luzak's inner membranes pulsated with rage and fear. "How do you know my name? Our communications are encrypted." The human's expression didn't change. "Commander, very little about your species is unknown to us. We've been monitoring the Vraxian expansion for decades. Your conquest of the Pelnar system, the subjugation of the Tellarites, the extinction of the Mokai civilization." Each mention felt like a physical blow. These were military operations classified at the highest levels of the Vraxian dominion. "What do you want?" Luzak finally asked. "As I said before, your immediate withdrawal from this system. Additionally, we require acknowledgement that this star system and its 17 inhabited planets are under Earth's protection and exempt from future Vraxian expansion." Across the command deck, Luzak's officers waited for his response. The fleet's secondary commanders were already transmitting requests for instructions. Intelligence Officer Drozek approached cautiously. "Commander, preliminary analysis suggests their technology is at least 300 cycles ahead of our own. Their vessel's power signature suggests they are operating at minimal capacity." "Minimal?" Luzak hissed. "Yes, Commander, they appear to be restraining themselves." On the main screen, Admiral Kostova waited patiently. No ultimatums, no threats, simply the quiet confidence of absolute superiority. "And if we refuse?" Luzak asked. The human's expression softened slightly, almost showing pity. "Commander, refusing is not an option I would recommend. Your empire stretches across 12 systems. Ours protects over 200. Your civilization has achieved faster-than-light travel. We have mastered quantum manipulation and dimensional engineering." As if to demonstrate, a small portal opened beside the human admiral. Through it, Luzak could see his private quarters aboard the Dominance. The human casually reached through, selected a small decorative object, a family heirloom from his ancestral clutch, and withdrew it through the portal. "We could have appeared directly in your command center," Admiral Kostova said, holding up the irreplaceable artifact. "We could have ended this encounter in countless ways. Instead, we chose communication." The portal closed. The human placed Luzak's possession carefully on a nearby surface, treating it with unexpected reverence. "Your species has potential, Commander. Technological ingenuity, cultural resilience. But your expansion model is unsustainable. We've seen civilizations like yours rise and fall countless times. We're offering you an opportunity to learn from their mistakes." Luzak's mandibles clicked involuntarily, a gesture of submission rarely seen from a Vraxian commander. "We will withdraw," he said finally. The Indomitable maintained position as the Vraxian fleet prepared for departure. On the command deck, Admiral Kostova reviewed Lieutenant Commander Kuri's latest psychological assessment of the alien commander. "He's complying, but with deep reservation," Kuri explained. "Their military hierarchy is structured around conquest and expansion. Returning home without a victory could be dangerous for him personally." Vera frowned. This complicated matters. Earth's defense doctrine prioritized lasting peace over temporary tactical advantages. A Vraxian commander desperate to salvage his reputation might make irrational decisions later. "Athena, options for ensuring Commander Luzak's position remain secure enough to honor our agreement." The AI processed for milliseconds. "Recommended approach. Provide Commander Luzak with enough scientific data to appear valuable to his superiors without compromising Earth's security." Vera nodded. Prepare a data package. Basic quantum field theories. Nothing applicable to weapons, but enough to advance their research in other areas. As the crew carried out her orders, Vera studied the alien fleet. They represented a significant military force by galactic standards, just not by Earth's. Few beyond humanity's highest echelons knew the true story of Earth's technological ascension. After the resource wars of the 22nd century, mankind had been on the brink of extinction. Then came the discovery, an ancient data cache buried beneath the Antarctic ice sheet. Not alien technology as many first theorized, but evidence of a previous human civilization that had achieved technological heights before destroying itself. The information contained within had catapulted humanity forward by centuries virtually overnight. Combined with the hard lessons of their near extinction, it created a civilization both technologically superior and painfully aware of its own destructive potential. "Admiral," interrupted Lieutenant Okoro, "long-range sensors are detecting unusual activity at the edge of the system." "Define unusual," Vera responded, immediately alert. "A spatial distortion consistent with... It appears to be another ship arriving, but the signature doesn't match Vraxian technology." Vera's eyes narrowed. "Origin? Unknown, Admiral, but it's massive, approximately 3 times the size of the Vraxian flagship. This development changed everything. A third faction entering the standoff could create unpredictable complications." "Open a channel to Commander Luzak," Vera ordered. The alien's face appeared on screen, mandibles still vibrating with barely contained emotion. "Commander, are you expecting reinforcements?" Vera asked directly. Luzak's compound eyes widened. "No, our entire regional fleet is here. What have you detected?" His surprise appeared genuine. Vera's intuition, honed through decades of diplomatics and military service, told her he was speaking truth. "We have an unknown vessel approaching. Massive signature, non-Vraxian configuration." For the first time, Luzak's demeanor shifted from defeated to concerned. "Description?" Lieutenant Okoro called out. "Visual confirmation coming through now, Admiral." The main view screen shifted to show a massive vessel emerging from what appeared to be a tier in space itself. Unlike the angular, insect-like design of the Vraxian ships or the sleek efficiency of the Indomitable, this vessel resembled a grotesque organic form, pulsating with unnatural light and covered in structures that seemed to defy conventional engineering. "Gazelle collectors," Luzak whispered, his voice suddenly hollow. "You recognize this vessel?" Vera asked sharply. "They are not a species, Admiral. They are a plague. They harvest civilizations, technology, biological material, everything of value. They follow expansion fleets, waiting for us to discover new worlds. Then they take what they want." Vera processed this information quickly. "Have you encountered them before?" 3 times in our history. Each encounter resulted in catastrophic losses. Luzak's mandibles clicked rapidly in what Athena's translation matrix identified as extreme distress. "Admiral, I suggest we both retreat immediately. The Gazelle do not negotiate." On the tactical display, the massive collector ship continued its approach. Preliminary scans showed technology that incorporated elements from dozens of different civilizations, a patchwork of stolen innovation. "They detected our engagement," Luzak continued. "They must have followed my fleet, waiting for us to find something valuable, like Earth," Vera concluded grimly. The collector ship's arrival transformed the dynamic between the Indomitable and the Vraxian fleet. Former adversaries now faced a common threat. "Admiral," Lieutenant Okoro reported, "the collector vessel is scanning both our ships and the inner planets of the system. Their technology appears to be composite, multiple engineering philosophies integrated together." Athena's holographic avatar materialized beside Vera. Analysis complete. The vessel incorporates technology from at least 23 distinct civilizations. Some components match patterns in our historic database of extinct species. Commander Dar spoke up from Tactical. "They're powering weapon systems, Admiral. Configuration unknown, but energy readings are off the charts." Vera made her decision. "Open channel to Commander Luzak." The Vraxian appeared, now standing on what appeared to be an auxiliary command deck. "Admiral, we're preparing to jump to FTL. I suggest you do the same." "Running isn't an option, Commander. Earth cannot be evacuated, and we won't abandon our colonies." Luzak's compound eyes blinked rapidly. "You don't understand. The collectors don't just conquer. They consume. Entire biospheres stripped, populations harvested for biological components. They've ended civilizations far more advanced than the Vraxian Dominion." Vera leaned forward. "And how advanced are they compared to Earth?" The question seemed to catch Luzak off guard. "I cannot say with certainty. Their technology is stolen, adapted, not developed organically, which creates weaknesses," Vera concluded. "Incompatibilities in the systems, inefficiencies." For the first time, a new expression crossed Luzak's alien features, something Athena translated as dawning comprehension. "You intend to fight them?" "We intend to protect what's ours, Commander, something I believe you understand." Vera paused. "Your fleet is welcome to depart, or you may join us." "Join you? Against collectors? That would be an opportunity," Vera interrupted, "to observe Earth's full military capabilities. Information valuable to your superiors, I imagine." Luzak fell silent, clearly calculating the political equations. Finally, he responded. "What role would we play in this engagement?" "Your ships can provide tactical support, distraction and flanking maneuvers while the Indomitable engages their primary systems." On the main view screen, the collector vessel continued its approach. Its surface rippled with unnatural movement, as though the ship itself were alive. "Incoming transmission from the collector vessel," announced Communications Officer Lindholm. "On screen," Vera ordered. The view screen shifted to show a being that defied easy classification. Partially organic, partially mechanical, its form incorporated elements from multiple species grafted together in a grotesque patchwork. When it spoke, the voice modulated between different tones and speech patterns. Biological and technological. "Assets detected. Prepare for collection. Resistance is inefficient." Vera stood from her command chair. "This is Admiral Vera Kostova of Earth. You have entered protected space. Withdraw immediately." The collector being's mismatched eyes, one appeared Vraxian, one from some unknown species, focused on her. "Earth vessels possess unique technological signatures. Your species will contribute to our evolution." "That's not going to happen," Vera replied calmly. "Interesting. Confidence despite inferior position." The collector's patchwork face twisted into what might have been curiosity. "Your ship is outmassed 20-1. Energy readings suggest comparable technology but insufficient scale." "Scale isn't everything," Vera responded. She signaled silently to Lieutenant Commander Kuri, who understood immediately. While the collector's attention was focused on the conversation, the Indomitable's deep scan systems were mapping every centimeter of the massive vessel, identifying the origin of each technological component, analyzing for weaknesses. "Final opportunity," the collector announced. "Surrender ship and provide coordinates to your homeworld. Selected specimens will be preserved." Vera's expression hardened. "Let me be clear. Earth doesn't surrender, and we certainly don't negotiate with scavengers." She cut the transmission and turned to her command crew. "Battle stations, prepare primary quantum arrays." Across the bridge, her officers moved with practiced precision. Unlike the earlier confrontation with the Vraxians, this time the Indomitable prepared its full combat capabilities. "Commander Luzak is hailing us," reported Lindholm. On screen. The Vraxian commander appeared, surrounded by his officers. "Admiral Kostova, the collector vessel is deploying harvest drones. Once launched, They will attempt to board both our vessels to extract technology and biological samples. Understood, Commander. Are you staying to fight? Luzak's mandibles clicked once, decisively. The Vraxian Dominion does not flee from battle. We will engage. Vera nodded respectfully. Coordinate with my tactical officer. Focus on the harvest drones. The Indomitable will target their main vessel. As the transmission ended, Athena's holographic form approached Vera. Admiral, deep scans complete. I've identified 27 critical vulnerabilities in the collector vessel's composite systems. Their plasma containment technology is particularly unstable. Xenarian components interfaced with Loctarian power regulation. Target those systems first, Vera ordered. Begin charging the primary array. Outside the viewports, the collector ship's surface began disgorging smaller vessels, hundreds of them, each approximately the size of a shuttlecraft. Simultaneously, the Vraxian fleet took up defensive positions, their remaining weapons powering. Up! Here they come, Commander Dar announced grimly. The space between the vessels erupted into chaos as the collector's harvest drones swarmed toward both the Earth ship and the Vraxian fleet. The Indomitable's point defense systems activated automatically, invisible quantum beams intercepting drones with surgical precision. The Vraxian vessels formed a defensive perimeter, their weapons more visible, streams of plasma energy cutting, through clusters of attacking drones. What they lacked in advanced technology, they made up for in tactical discipline. Multiple drones approaching our hull, reported Commander Dar, attempting to find access points. Vera nodded. Deploy quantum field barriers around all access hatches. Security teams on standby. On the main view screen, the massive collector vessel began emitting energy pulses toward the Indomitable, rippling waves of composite technology designed to disable systems through multiple attack vectors simultaneously. Shields holding, Athena reported, but they're probing our defenses systematically. Each attack tests a different frequency, different approach. They're learning, Vera observed. How long until the primary array is charged? 3 minutes, 17 seconds to full capacity, responded Lieutenant Razin Okoro. Vera studied the tactical display. The collector's adaptive approach was concerning. Given enough time, they might find a vulnerability even in the Indomitable's advanced defenses. Earth vessels were designed for efficiency, powerful but not invulnerable. New transmission from Commander Luzak, announced Communications Officer Lindholm. On screen. The Vraxian commander appeared, his command deck now bathed in red emergency lighting. Admiral, we've intercepted 67% of the drones targeting our vessels, but they're adapting to our defensive patterns. 3 of our cruisers have been breached. Can you hold? Vera asked directly. For a limited time. These collectors, they're extracting our technology even during battle. Each drone that attaches transmits data back to their main vessel. This confirmed Vera's suspicions. The longer the battle continued, the more dangerous the collector became. Commander, we need to accelerate our timeline. The Indomitable is preparing a decisive strike, but we need to concentrate fire on a specific section of the collector vessel. Can your remaining ships target these coordinates? She transmitted a tactical package showing the location of the collector's primary power regulation systems. Luzak studied the data. Affirmative. But my vessels would need to move into a more vulnerable position. We'll provide cover, Vera assured him. On my mark, advance and concentrate all firepower on that section. As the Vraxian commander acknowledged, Vera turned to Athena. Status of primary array? 2 minutes, 4 seconds to full capacity. Lieutenant Okoro suddenly straightened at his station. Admiral, detecting new energy signature from the collector vessel. They're charging some form of primary weapon. Target? They're aiming at Earth, Admiral, not our vessels. They're targeting the planet directly. Cold fury settled over Vera. This was no longer about ships or technology. The collectors were threatening her home. 7 billion lives, the cradle of human civilization. All power to the primary array. Divert from non-essential systems if necessary. That would include radiation shielding on decks 3 through 7, Athena warned. Do it. Alert all personnel to evacuate those sections. Throughout the Indomitable, crew members moved swiftly to sealed compartments as the ship channeled unprecedented power to its main weapon. The lights dimmed momentarily as energy reserves redirected. Primary array at 84% and rising, reported Commander Dar. 90 seconds to optimal capacity. The collector vessel's weapon is approaching. Firing threshold, warned Lieutenant Okoro. Estimated time to discharge, 70 seconds. Vera made her decision. We can't wait. Signal Commander Luzak. Execute attack pattern now. On the view screen, the Vraxian fleet abruptly changed formation, ships accelerating toward the designated coordinates on the collector vessel. Immediately, swarms of harvest drones redirected to intercept them. Primary array at 89%, announced Commander Dar. Target locked. Fire, Vera ordered. The Indomitable shuddered slightly as its primary weapon discharged. Unlike the plasma weapons of the Vraxians or the composite technology of the Collectors, Earth's quantum array released no visible beam. Space itself seemed to bend between the Indomitable and its target, a rippling distortion that connected the two vessels instantaneously. On the Collector ship, the targeted section simply ceased to exist, not destroyed in an explosion, but removed from reality. The perfect precision of quantum elimination. For a moment, nothing happened. Then secondary cascading failures began spreading across the collector vessel's hull as incompatible systems suddenly lost their regulatory components. The Vraxian fleet is engaging, reported Commander Dar. All ships concentrating fire on the targeted section. On the tactical display, the combined attack overwhelmed what remained of the collector's defenses. Plasma beams from the Vraxian ships poured into the growing breach in the massive vessel's hull, triggering chain reactions throughout its composite structure. Their main weapon is powering down, Lieutenant Okoro confirmed. Power fluctuations throughout their vessel. They're losing containment. The collector ship began to break apart. Not in a single catastrophic explosion, but in sections. Different technologies failing at different rates. Some areas maintaining integrity while others collapsed. Harvest drones are going inert, reported Commander Dar. They've lost their connection to the main vessel. Vera watched as the massive collector ship disintegrated, its patchwork nature evident even in its destruction. Technologies stolen from dozens of civilizations never truly integrated, now tearing themselves apart. Signal Commander Luzak, she ordered. All vessels should withdraw to minimum safe distance. As both fleets pulled back, the collector vessel's power core finally destabilized completely. The explosion illuminated the view screen, temporarily overwhelming the optical filters. When vision cleared, only debris remained where the massive harvester had been. Communications Officer Lindholm turned from his console. Incoming transmission from Commander Luzak. The Vraxian commander appeared on screen. His normally rigid posture was now slightly hunched, evidence of the battle's toll. Behind him, damage control teams worked frantically on the auxiliary bridge. Admiral Kostova, he began, his translated voice carrying unmistakable gravity. The Vraxian Dominion acknowledges your assistance in this matter. Vera nodded respectfully. And Earth acknowledges yours, Commander. Your fleet fought with honor. Luzak's compound eyes studied her for a long moment. No civilization has ever defeated a collector vessel, in all recorded history across known space. Perhaps that history needs updating, Vera replied. Indeed. The Vraxian commanders, mandibles clicked pensively. The terms you offered before this engagement. Protection status for this system. No further Vraxian expansion in this direction. Those terms remain our position. Luzak straightened, resuming his formal posture. The Vraxian Dominion accepts these terms. Furthermore, we propose a formal recognition of boundaries and limited cultural exchange. It was more than Vera had expected, the beginning of diplomatic relations rather than mere coexistence. Earth would welcome such an arrangement, Commander. As the transmission ended, Vera turned to her command crew. Though exhausted, each officer stood proud at their station. "Stand down from battle stations," she ordered. "Begin damage assessment and prepare a full report for Earth Command." Through the viewport, she watched as the Vraxian fleet regrouped, preparing for departure. They had arrived as conquerors and were leaving as potential allies, all because they had detected an Earth warship and understood before the battle even began that their old understanding of the galaxy was already over. Humanity had revealed itself, and the universe would never be the same.